CFR versus
two, right.
CFR Uncle Onion.
This is losers finals, right?
Losers. Yeah,
Winner
it has
plays
to
your
be.
boy.
Okay, so
Are you the
have
boy?
we seen a Fox on screen yet that actually like knows what to do against Falco things?
I don't think CFR is good against Falco, to be
Okay,
honest.
so we probably won't see that.
I don't think this state is particularly good against Falco.
You know, I don't know enough about this matchup, the stages really, minus the obvious stuff about FD and your punish camp.
I think they both kind of like each other's stages anyway. So like, it doesn't. I don't think there's any counterpick that's really damning, unless maybe FD. It might be the other one that's like a true hard counter. The rest.
Yeah, I always wonder about Pokemon in this matchup. Again, I don't know much about it, but it feels like Pokemon could be so good for Falco, and like, I mean, obviously the transformations not so much. But
Right. And then you could always just like kind of camp during those if you really wanted to be a wiener. Just pull the gun out and kind of put your back to whatever you can tech off of and.
right, I'm a big proponent of not being smart and going in when it's completely absurd to do so. Like,
You're a big proponent of this?
yeah, it's very important when you're playing, especially when you like play Puff, for example, against like a Fox on Pokemon. Like if you don't go down in the pit, like you're probably a little too smart to be playing this game.
Or picking Puff and sticking with her.
Right, both of which are problems.
I
Big
feel like
mistakes.
I feel like if you pick Puff, it should be beaten out of you within 6 months.
Right, or you
Climbers
just
too.
develop eventual like your brain sort of develops a layer of toughness or like a callus. Over
Yeah.
it, and you just sort of
Like
stop
a
thinking.
like a upright bass player's thumb.
Yeah, right, exactly. Don't
Yeah.
ever look at one of those closely, by the way.
Yeah, it's just like it looks like a fleshy doorknob someone left in the sun.
Yeah, it's really not a good thing.
You know, you ever heard of fleshy doorknob Jefferson?
Oh, that's a good one.
Doorknob Jefferson.
What about Adams? I think it'd be fleshy during Adams, but it's just
I think I misspoke.
yeah, right. Like a Lisa.
I've heard of Jefferson Spaceship.
Yeah, Jefferson Starship Jefferson. You ever heard of that? What a great blues singer he was.
Dude.
I know. We don't want it to like circle back around.
Science fiction blues singers. That'd be fantastic.
Jefferson. Is that a thing yet?
Washington.
Do we have Jefferson?
Leaky Hyperdrive Washington.
Oh
What
man.
is the main character of the Jeffersons name again?
Jefferson something probably. Long John Silver. Oh God.
Mound
Do
big
you
man.
not know?
Indiana Pacers. I know old and
I heard
big men.
the definitely I had the two dots in my head, and then as they linked, you said it, and I was like, oh man.
Huh? Not yet.
I followed it kind of.
Yeah, I think science fiction blues singers should be a thing.
Right.
If it's not already.
Yeah.
Let's see, Stun Blaster Lincoln.
Right.
Like just any generic like science fiction.
There's
Pull out your science fiction lexicon.
sure.
And just
And then add
Put-
president's
add
last
president
names
last
and
names.
maladies to the beginning.
right, and illnesses and/or disabilities.
Right. Exactly.
And you probably
Right. Clubfoot, Kit Urso, Thompson.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah, I just Mad Libsed it.
Yeah, wow, that's a really good one.
Thanks, man.
I like that.
Um,
Actually, yeah, it seems like a clubfoot would be a particularly bluesy injury. You know? Like you can't have something like a cute. It should really be a chronic.
I like how you.
Think about it.
It's I don't know what it is. It's the very soothing Eru voice saying nonsensical things as if they're like facts. It's just like, oh, that is, you know, like the same person that says like you're being contrarian also is just like that's a particularly bluesy melody, the clubfoot. I don't know why the two. It's just the
I just appreciate the coherence of the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know? It just makes sense.
you're just a fan of the vernacular.
Right.
Uh-oh, is he getting shot in the face? No. There's very little mix-up when you're that far out which angle you're taking. You're just like, the direct route, please. Yeah. A diangle's like the worst triangle.
Yeah, no, it's really inferior angle. It's not nearly as good as like the angle or all the other angles.
Is there a quiggle? Is there an angle that I take? It's probably the worst one.
A quiggle does not sound like an angle. It
Yeah.
sounds like something that you do when you don't mean to do it. Like, oh man.
Like my mother when she had
once
me.
again.
Nice.
Oops. We've made a mistake,
Dude,
boys and
sick
girls.
burn on yourself.
Yeah, take that, Quigs. Your confidence was far too high after that amazing blues
Right, after
ad
your
lib.
blues ad-libbing.
Yep. I was really feeling myself. Then Danny put me in my place, like he put Cole
You
in the
put
grave.
yourself in your place.
I feel like the difference between at least one of the big differences that we're seeing here is that CFR actually understands when Falco's doing unsafe things and takes advantage of it, whereas in the other games it was like the opposite. The Foxes had no idea when they were doing unsafe things,
Right.
and Falco could take advantage of it. But
That said, we got last stock on Fountain. Although I actually wasn't in the earlier Blues-related segment of the commentary. I wasn't really paying attention. Not really. I mean, I was focusing on the screen, but like it was like when you read a book and then you get to the bottom of the page, you have to jump back to the top.
Read the first few words and you're
Yeah.
like, okay, I got this.
And then you're like, what do I have to do after this? And then you get to the bottom and you're like, I learned nothing. That's
you get to the bottom and there's like another page. And it's like, what the hell?
what is this, a map that someone folded? Is he living? He's living.
Despite that DI, he's living.
Despite all my rage, Cole is
Straight up
still
DI.
dead. And I can't bring him back with my anger or frustration.
I wish I
Or
could
my
bring
self-harm.
I miss
Yeah.
him.
Shoutouts to Cole for not being here.
We couldn't have done this without him.
Really though. Well, really though. Yeah. It works way better without him. Because he might have tried to talk were he here.
Yeah, true.
I hear like tried as if due to whatever
Well, I
caused
mean,
his illness has also stopped him from speaking.
Someone would have hit him. But
Right.
Yeah.
He would have tried to talk.
Right.
No, Cole doesn't speak without my permission. You have to understand that.
I thought that was Hunter.
No. Hunter's not the living boy here.
Really? Which one has the blood oath?
That's Hunter.
Right.
But Blood Oath is different from being somebody's bitch.
Oh, okay.
Cole's my bitch.
Okay, that makes sense. Hunter, you just sort of do whipping boy things.
Ugh,
too?
it's like a lot of Game of Thrones Theon shit.
Yeah, no, we
Yeah.
called Cole Reek for like a solid 2 months.
You're welcome.
I shit you
I
not.
just understood your friendship inherently in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I was like, here, this reference will go well. And you're like, yes, it will.
I mean, Game of Thrones friendship, incest, and beheading.
Yeah, man.
Two things that you really
Those
need in
melodies
friendship.
don't genuinely lead to good blues artists.
No, they don't. Well, actually, I don't know. The incest one.
Actually.
I mean, okay, so think about like Mississippi Delta.
Yeah,
so
let's-
the
let's-
home of American incest.
How
and-
about like childhood trauma? I'm trying to think of a more obscure malady.
I was thinking, since we're going with the incest, maybe like Six Finger Jackson
Oh,
or
sure,
something
yeah.
like that, right?
Exactly. Illiterate, bow-legged Williams.
Right. That's right. The strange things that happen to people's faces from the incest.
Yeah. Eyes too close together.
Right. Urinating blue, like that's
Wait, that's not. I think
that
that's
is
not. accurate.
absolutely a thing.
All right.
Good old King George of England had that, and it sounds amazing.
He peed blue.
He peed bright blue.
What?
It's a congenital thing.
I definitely thought he was
So-
born in the era before we had color.
So you know that he was nuts, right? So this is where I'm thinking like King George, the guy that's named in the Declaration of Independence as the big baddie.
Yeah.
Though he wasn't doing anything.
The villain of
Nuts.
pre-Hitler times.
Right,
Before
right.
he was the go-to villain, we had
Right.
Blue
and so-
P George.
Right, Blue P George, and that was again the result of some family problems,
When you say problems, do you mean love that is Game of Thrones-esque?
Yeah, sort of. So like marry your cousin, marry your sister.